G'day Reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Thanks for watching Gallery Aquatica TV. Today we are back at the Bar Reef. Now you may recall that we have started to take the coral out of the tank. We've removed a lot of the aquapora from this system, but today we have the most difficult part of the whole job. We're removing the rock and the corals. So we're back at this massive tank and we've already started to prep the area. We've put down heaps of towels. This is going to be a messy job, and we've started to set up the hoses that we're going to use to drain the water out of the tank so that we can take the water with the corals when we move. Now it's really interesting the way that we're doing this today. So we'll follow the hoses and we'll show you exactly where they go. So we're here at a pump. Now, usually we use this pump to pump water from the water tank on the ute into the tank. But we're using it exactly the opposite way today. We're going to use it to pump water from the display tank onto the back of the ute. So let's keep following the hose. So here we are, we're outside, and this is where the coral will be going. Now, in our previous video, we copped a lot of flack over the fact that we only had what were relatively small barrels to put our big corals in. But today, we've brought a full IBC. So we're going to be using this IBC to take all of the rock and coral from the tank. So this is going to be a huge job today. So to start our hose, we're going to have to prime the line. To do that, I'm just going to start a siphon just by sucking on the hose. We're a little bit lucky that the tank is so tall that there's a really good head height to start to prime this with sucking on it. So we've got Ben in position to turn on the pump. Okay, Ben. And here comes the water. So we have a legal weight limit of 600 kilos on this ute. So we're going to fill the IBC with about 200, maybe 250 litres of water, and that will allow us enough weight so that we can move all of the rock, which I'm guessing will be around about 100 to 150 kilos. So you can see how much water we've removed from the tank to fill the IBC on the back of the ute. Now I'll show you some other things that we're going to use for this job because it's pretty interesting the way we're going to do this. First of all, we have 4 of these tubs, and these will be used to put the rock and the corals in to then transport them to the next tub, and we'll show you that because that is the coolest thing that we've got today, just over here. So this is a 300 litre tub, and we've put it on a little trolley so we can put the majority of things in here and then wheel it all outside. This will save us from going backwards and forwards with every single rock that we've got. So this will be really handy. But we do have one more tool that we're going to be trying for the first time today, and it is a max spec coral handsaw. Now, the corals in this tank are well and truly grown onto the rock. The rock has been epoxied together, so I am expecting at some point I'm going to need to actually cut the rock apart, and I think that this will be the perfect tool for the job. So one last thing that I need to mention about this whole job. To get this rock out of the tank, the only way I can possibly do it is to get inside the tank. Now, you may have seen me in previous videos getting into tanks, and typically getting into the tank is not the hardest thing to do. However, this tank presents a particular challenge, and that is it has a very limited amount of space to enter the tank. See that? Somehow I have to squeeze in here without knocking the rockwork and any of the corals, right myself, and then I have to pass all of the rock up and out of the tank. So it is going to be difficult. So I'll get dressed, I'll put on my snorkel mask, and I'll see if I can actually get in this tank. So I have been in this tank once before, and that was a couple of years ago. We didn't have the lights in the spot where they are now, and there was hardly any coral or rock in this tank. But it's going to be difficult mainly because of the amount of space we've got. So this could take a few attempts. So hopefully this won't be a comedy and I'll just be able to get straight in, but see how we go. I should also mention, getting out is going to be a pain in the no time for acclimating this time. Okay. I'm in. So, it's not much space at all. I think I'll go under and just have a look with my mask, see how much space I do have. So I'm going to start by moving some of these corals that I'm at risk of knocking over just from being where I am. So I've just dislodged a hammer. I definitely want to avoid a collapse. That would be very bad. Trucky. Alright, I'll pass this one straight out to Ben. They can go in a coral tub. Beautiful trucky. I might go down the deep end. Dallas. Bryopsis. Coral. So this is another risk with this tank being fully established and running for a number of years. There's going to be bristleworms, and I'm almost certainly going to pick up a coral with bristleworms. So I have to be as careful as possible, and even having my feet in the sand can make it a risk that I'm going to get spined. Not much I can do about that though. Alright, where's Ben?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep.
Don't knock it on the glass. Okay. Alright, I can't. Alright, so I'm also pulling off this bryopsis. It's been 6 weeks since we were here to pull out the Dallas. In that 6 weeks, we've got huge amounts of bryopsis. It's incredible how quickly this stuff grows. Alright, this is the first bit of rock I'm going to pull out. It's pretty loose. Oh yeah, easy. Alright, so this is going to go in a tub, a dry tub, Ben. Don't knock on the glass. Dry tub. Okay, this is the first difficult piece. Hopefully I can break it. Yep, okay, dry tub. Okay. This is...
You might be able to separate that.
Yep, you're right. Okay, this is the sort of piece I'm worried about. This is why we have 2 people here. These big pieces, if we were to drop these, it would be a disaster.
Jeez.
Alright, it's going to break.
I could probably help you section it if you want.
Well, it should be okay now. Yeah, try and break that bit off.
Right, ready?
Yep. Excellent.
There she goes.
Check out the size of this piece.
It's as big as my head. So pop him there for now.
Dry box.
Right.
Coral. The good thing is that we're making a bit of space now. So at least I can kind of relax, and in a minute I should be able to even stretch out and do some laps. Alright, coral. This is probably the piece that I was most worried about. It's a huge combo chalice. There's like an orangey one on the front and a greeny one at the back, and this probably wouldn't fit in any of the buckets or drums, so this is why we have the IBC today. That one needs to go underwater, Ben. Hopefully you've got space for it.
I'll find it.
Alright, and lift it from underneath, it could break. that was close. Almost had a massive collapse. Holy, that was a massive collapse.
Do you want me to get up there?
Yeah.
Let's get this down.
We now have a huge pile of rock. Ben, we're going to get this out ASAP. Put it wherever you can. It does have morphs on it. It's in my hand right now.
Yep.
Coral. There's just so much rock in here. I thought it was maybe 100 kilos, but I reckon it's probably more like 300. It's unbelievable. And everything's got a coral attached to it, so it's like, what do? We need it underwater. I think we're a little bit lucky with that collapse. Can't see any corals which have been damaged too much, and I don't think we've really had any dramas with that, luckily. The water's getting pretty cloudy, and when I started I had great visibility, like a beautiful clear coral reef, you know, 100 meters plus. But now I can barely see the end of the tank, so it's making it difficult. But the biggest problem is we're just running out of space with all of this rock, and I really want to do this in one go. There's stroms tickling my tootsies. Do you want to pass me the coral saw, please?
Don't drop it.
This coral saw is awesome. So we had this piece, these corallimorphs growing on this big bit of rock, and I've just used the coral saw just to cut through the edge and then break it so that we don't have to put the whole big rock underwater. So this is perfect. The coral saw works awesome. All right, Ben, this is coral. So I think we're going to call it there because we've got enough of the rock out that it'll be easy to catch the fish when we come back, and the pieces of rock that are left are small enough that we can use long-handled grippers to pick them out. So now I just have to get out of the tank, and this is going to be difficult. So Ben, can you just take that? Have we got lots of towels down? Because I'm going to make a big mess. And if you can continue taking away this box and anything that could be in the way, we're going to go out the same way I came in. Easy. Alright, we've got to fill this tank up and get it running again, put away all the corals, and that'll be it. So we're going to take the coral out to the ute so we can load it all up into the IBC. I reckon we just carry this all the way and then I'll get changed. So this is only stage 2 of our decommissioning of the reef bar. So we still have to keep this tank running. We're going to fill the tank up now so that we can do that. Okay Ben, turn it on. So that's filling now. We'll fill the tank, we'll turn the return pumps back on, we'll get everything going, and next time we'll come back, we'll take out the fish, and we'll start to strip down the hardware. So that's our video for today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on our videos. We really appreciate all your support. But thanks so much for watching, and happy reefing. So that's our video for today. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe as well. We'll be putting out videos every week showing a new tank with new products. There's going to be lots in all the videos. I'm Cam the Fish Guy, and keep on reefing.